Hey everybody, happy Friday and welcome to another edition of The Daily here with Greg Lawless. I'm Nick Furshaw. 1 day left until the beginning of the 2013 MLS season, and we usher it in with a little bit of drama for the guys down in Washington, D.C. Turns out Dwayne De Rosario has been suspended for the season opener and one additional game, plus an undisclosed fine for that preseason headbutt incident against Danny Cruz. We kind of expected this, but certainly this is a big blow for D.C. right out of the gate.
It's a massive blow, I think, for D.C. I mean, we all know that Dwayne De Rosario is a huge part of what D.C. United are going to be in 2013. This is a team that I think is actually thinking about MLS Cup, Supporters Shield, and having a guy like Dwayne De Rosario in it is important. Now remember, it's only 2 games out of 34, so it's not like it's the end of the world. He's certainly going to come back and be the driving force for that attack, but it doesn't get the season off to the right way. They go down to Houston on Saturday for their season opener. They will be without him. Ben Olsen from DC United actually told the Washington Post early on Friday morning, he said, look, I cannot defend Dwayne on this one. Right. Normally we know Ben Olsen, very fiery guy. He will defend his players to the hilt. This time he can't. He says he can't. He also later on said something interesting, which was that he's okay with the league cracking down on preseason incidents, trying to clean that up so that the players know what are expected in the what the expectations are in the regular season.
As good as he is, DC very experienced at playing without Dwayne De Rosario. Obviously, Gold Cup obligations and all the Canadian national team call-ups he's gotten in the past. And don't forget, he was injured for much of the stretch run last year. Yeah. That's when DC really took off. You mentioned it. They'll take on the Houston Dynamo Saturday night, 8 p.m. Eastern on the NBC Sports Network. A live chat on MLSsoccer.com. Well, taking a look at some of the other nationally televised games on Saturday, we'll start up in Canada where the Vancouver Whitecaps are at home against Toronto FC, 6 p.m. Eastern on TSN in Canada and MLS Live down in the United States. This is the debut for Ryan Nelsen, the brand new head coach of Toronto FC, who said this week that maybe he wishes he had a little bit more time. He's not going to get it. The season starts on Saturday for Ryan Nelsen.
It does, and I think he actually wishes he had a little bit more talent as well for TFC right now. He's trying to revamp that roster. It's going to take more time, obviously. And they're going up against a very good Vancouver team in their season opener. This is a very fast Whitecaps team that Martin Rennie has. We think about the rookie, Kekuta Mane, the other rookie, Eric Hurtado, lots of speed there. And, of course, Darren Maddox. Everyone is predicting that Darren Maddox is about to have that. I think he had a breakout year last year. I think we all saw it when he jumped over a Toronto FC defender. Yeah. But I think that this year is the one when he starts to produce. He's gotten some games with Jamaica. He's starting to show really well. Everyone is expecting that. We'll see if it happens in their first game. 2
other games on national television. The defending MLS Cup champion LA Galaxy on Sunday, 5 p.m. Eastern on Unimas. They're going up against the new-look Chicago Fire. And then the nightcap really on ESPN2 on Sunday night between the Portland Timbers and the New York Red Bulls. That's at 7:30 p.m. Eastern on ESPN2. The debut of Mike Petke, the debut of Caleb Porter. A lot of storylines in this one.
Ooh, it's a debut party out there in Portland. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I think that this New York team actually has something that they want to prove this year. I think Thierry Henry is on a mission, maybe that this is now year 3 or for him, that his 3rd full year in New York, so he has to start showing. Everyone likes to say, well, it took Beckham 3 years and then he got it done and all that. So we'll see if Thierry Henry does that. Plus, don't forget Juninho's there now. They have a lot of talent on this New York team. Saying that, this Portland Timbers team, retooled by Caleb Porter, they have a lot of talent. I think everyone's very excited to see what Diego Valeri, the new Argentine midfielder, attacking midfielder, can bring to them. And you know the Timbers Army is going to be out there waving the flag, singing everything. It's going to be a great game.
Well, let us know what you think. Who's going to win these games? You can post your answers in the comments below. And also want to mention that our predictions for the MLS Cup champions comes out on Friday. You can agree with us, disagree with us. There's a variety of different teams that we expect might win. I have DC United because I think they're a great team down the stretch, and if DeRo and all those guys are healthy at the end. I think you have the Houston Dynamo?
No, absolutely not. I do love Houston Dynamo. Good luck to you guys, but I actually think this is the year for New York. I think this is the one that they are actually going to pull it out because in some ways, having Mike Petke as the coach, people are underestimating him. He's got a lot more going on in thinking about the tactics and how this team works than I think people are giving him credit for.
Well, you can find that article on MLSsoccer.com. The editors trying to pick who's going to win the MLS Cup. Last but not least, fantasy is upon us again, a brand new season and a whole new chance for everybody out there to win some prizes in the fantasy leagues. We'll get your picks here really quickly. The one guy that you're relying on this week to get you some points, and then maybe a sleeper pick.
The one guy who's going to get me points this week, that's a tough one. I'm going to say the one guy for this year. How about that? I'm going with Alvaro Saborio from Real Salt Lake. I think that Sabo is going to have a tremendous season for RSL. I think he's going to just pour goals in for them. I'm not really sure, mainly because I'm not sure they have anyone else who can do it. He's going to be the focal point of their attack. Yes, defenses will key on him, but he's proven again and again that he can get the job done. And from all I've heard at the RSL camp, he's very, very happy this year. He got remarried and he's very excited to be at RSL and to score all these goals. My sleeper, Eddie Gavin. Having Higuain out there, having Arrieta, Eddie Gavin is going to rack up assists. And also with Higuain's creativity on that late run out of the midfield, I think Gavin gets a lot more goals than he has in many years. It's hard to say that like a 10-year veteran like Gavin is a sleeper, but I think he is in terms of points this year in fantasy.
Well, if you're not in the league yet, make sure you log on, fantasy.mlssoccer.com. And if you go to games.mlssoccer.com, you're going to find a brand new competition this year. 3-goal Monty. This is where you pick 3 guys that are going to score a goal this weekend. Who you got?
I say Will Bruin scores for the Houston Dynamo. That's 1. I think Wondolowski gets another goal. I'm not sure right now about the Real Salt Lake back line, so I think that that's a good one right there. And my last one, you know what? I'm going to go with Juninho from New York.
There you go.
The New York Juninho, by the way. Not the LA Juninho, the New York Juninho.
Games.mlssoccer.com. And make sure you check out the latest edition of Extra Time Radio. The podcast came out on Thursday. We had Skylar Redpath. This is a guy who is a pro at fantasy soccer. Has done very well in the leagues over the past couple years. Won the Extra Time Radio League last season. He gives us a bunch of tips on the latest episode, including Darren Maddox. That's his #1 guy for points this year.
That's a good one.
Check it out on iTunes, Buzzsprout, and Stitcher Radio. That does it for us. Make sure you log on for the beginning of the 2013 MLS season. All gets underway on Saturday. Catch all the highlights and the coverage on MLSsoccer.com.